When it comes to GALA, am I concerned? The answer is absolutely not, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Now, that may seem a little bit counterintuitive as of right now, especially seeing GALA have this massive pullback. But again, as of right now, market cap is around 500 million. But then not too long ago, literally less than a year ago, back in December of 2024, market cap was slightly above 2 billion. So it's around a 4x from here. That was not, again, even a year ago. We just saw that, and that was without even an altcoin season, in my perspective, when it comes to GALA, along with the whole altcoin space overall. I don't think I've seen an altcoin season during this cycle. And it already did that. That's pretty impressive. I personally know some people out there, even though I'm not telling them to do anything, that when GALA was around that 2 billion market cap range, they were saying, oh wow, imagine if GALA even went to $1 billion in market cap again, or even below that. But then as of right now, GALA is around $500 million in market cap, and the exact same people who told me that, they just don't care about GALA, they say it's done. But I don't have that mindset. I still believe in GALA because when I take a look at the idea of 25 cents, it is still on my mind, but why is that, despite being around a 22x from here? But then, the way I take a look at it is this. What I take a look at during times when the price is boring and when the price is not doing good, I take a look at the space that it's focused on. I take a look at the fundamentals, and I do like that when it comes to GALA because GALA, I think personally, through GALA Games, is one of the most premier projects out there when it comes to blockchain gaming. And I think that market hasn't disappeared. It still has a good fan base. It's still one of the most popular markets out there, I think currently within this space. And I still like its maybe future projection because even according to Grandview Research, the blockchain gaming market is expected to be worth over $300 billion by 2030. Now that's still ways away. 2030, we're still in 2025 as of right now. But still, I think that if anything shows the projection of maybe what blockchain gaming could be. And I think if anything, as of right now, it's more so the narrative, the story, and kind of picture that the project paints as opposed to the adoption. Because let's face it, there's many projects out there that are massive, but the adoption isn't the best. Why is that? I think as of right now, the space still favors kind of projects that are having a good narrative, having a good story, as opposed to, let's say, the current adoption. So when people like to say, oh, GALA doesn't have the best adoption out there, or when it comes to blockchain gaming, who cares about GALA games and all this? Again, I think it's more so the narrative and the story. So I think especially, let's say there's an altcoin season during the cycle, I kind of feel like blockchain gaming could very well be a narrative again. And if that does become a narrative, when it comes to GALA games, it's one of the most premier and popular projects within there. It wouldn't surprise me if it went along with the ride, which is why when I take a look at the idea of 25 cents, it's still in my mind. Now again, around the 22x from here, it may seem kind of like very far because it's like, wow. And then we take a look at the pullback and all this type of stuff. But keep in mind, when GALA was at around a $2 billion market cap, that was like slightly above a 5x from there. It wasn't even that far away. You know what I mean? We just saw GALA again not too long ago reach a market cap of around 2 billion. Less than a year ago. Just that market cap again around 11.5 billion considering current circulating supply. It didn't even seem that far away less than a year ago. However, also on top of that, people like to say, okay, when it comes to GALA, the popularity isn't the best. Well, how can it not? Take a look at a market cap, even currently right now, of around 500 million. That's very impressive considering the space when it comes to blockchain gaming. I think when it comes to the blockchain gaming space, as of right now, the barrier to entry doesn't seem that high because a lot of projects out there, they say they're going to do this, do that. They say they're focused on blockchain gaming. They don't really do anything. And then for whatever reason, their market cap is like even pretty decent in some cases. But then in order to become established in blockchain gaming, I think that's where it becomes a little bit harder. Maybe the barrier to entry is easier, but then becoming more established is a little bit difficult because a lot of the projects out there that are still around right now and was around also back then in 2021, they're still often considered as one of the top projects out there when it comes to blockchain gaming. And I think something like GALA arguably is as well, as of right now. We also take a look at Engine, some other market sectors out there, kind of the more so established players just because of the competition that became better. A lot of them just kind of became a little bit forgotten about. But when it comes to blockchain gaming, just because that barrier to entry is so easy, but then at the same time, being established is so difficult, GALA still has that kind of popularity sort of vibe within the space despite being more so of a project that existed back in 2021. So I still like its presence, and I think GALA's improved since then, right? I mean, we take a look at GALA Chain, which, I get it, the adoption isn't the best when it comes to that, but still, it's pretty impressive. And also we take a look at GALA Film, GALA Music. They're not necessarily the best things of all time, but I still think it's a pretty decent focus nonetheless. Sure, I don't think it's going to be the biggest player within that space, but then if we take a look at, let's say, film, right? The global movies and entertainment market size is expected, or should I say is predicted to reach over 160 billion by 2030 according to Zion Market Research. So it's not that bad. I don't think GALA Film is going to become a major player within this, but it's still pretty interesting to see that, and it kind of shows their forward-thinking mindset. Also on top of that, we take a look at GALA Music. Now again, when it comes to this as well, I don't necessarily think it's going to be the biggest thing out there, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's more so the thought that counts, right? It's like sometimes someone gives us a gift. It doesn't necessarily need to be the most expensive thing out there. It doesn't have to be an iPad, for instance, but then still, it's a thought that counts. When it comes to GALA Music, supposedly, if we take a look at kind of the music streaming market size, it is expected to be worth over $100 billion, according to Grandview Research by 2030. Having film, having music, having the GALA chain, it's still pretty decent, I think, overall. So when I take a look at GALA, I still do believe in its fundamentals. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's over. This is just my point of view. Again, the whole altcoin space isn't necessarily doing the best. GALA is no stranger to this, but if there's one thing that I can do, and that is just control myself, and what am I going to do? I'm dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. That's pretty much about it. I've been holding GALA, keep in mind, ever since 2021. Actually, one of my first videos ever was about GALA. That's how much I believed in it, and that's how long I've been believing in it. Now, GALA is not the only thing I hold, because ever since then I discovered other projects and stuff like that, but GALA is still something that I have in my portfolio because I still like it. I still like blockchain gaming. Blockchain gaming, I get it. A lot of the attention has kind of dipped by a lot ever since 2021. But then at the same time, I don't think I've seen an altcoin season. There was an altcoin season back in 2021, but I don't think I've seen one during the cycle. So I haven't given up. And typically, these type of more so established projects with a good amount of holders, with a good amount of popularity, they just don't really have this easy time to just kind of be gone like that, or just kind of be forgotten about. It's a little bit difficult, especially within such a specific niche like blockchain gaming, where there isn't really that much established players. This is the way I view it, which is why I'm still excited. Now, when it comes to when exactly there's going to be an altcoin season, that is literally not possible for me to know, because how can I know that? Even if I put up a price chart, drew a random triangle, or drew a falling wedge pattern, the market is literally not going to care about that. The only thing I can do is just dollar cost average, hold, and I just wait, and literally just stay patient for a moment in time in which GALA does something, and that's what I'm going to do. And again, seeing GALA right now at a market cap around 500 million, why would I not believe in it? I still like the fundamentals. I think nothing bad happened to it fundamentally. Price is a different case, but again, fundamentally, I don't think anything bad happened to it. So if I see a market cap of around 500 million, I'm still going to dollar cost average. Now, I am not saying that I'm just going to straight up acquire as much as I possibly can right now and then just think that this is the bottom, because who knows? In theory, things could always go lower. What I do is I literally just incrementally dollar cost average over time. That's it. So that way, if the price does go lower, I'll just still be dollar cost averaging even more. But nonetheless, I'm not telling it to do anything. But I still like GALA, and I'm not concerned, and I'm still staying patient. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Billy the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.